Good morning students, welcome to the new class of biology, that is respiration in plants. This is a new topic that we are going to begin today. So beginning with the definition of respiration. What is respiration? Respiration is a process in which food is broken down in the presence of oxygen to give carbon dioxide, water and lots of energy. That energy is in the form of ATP. Now what is ATP? ATP is known as energy currency of cell. During respiration, whatever energy is produced, it is not utilized by the cell as it is. It has to be first changed to ATP and then can be utilized by the cell for carrying out vital activities. Now what is ATP? ATP, the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Actually what happens? Adenine is combined to 3-phosphate group, of which the last phosphate is loosely attached and can be easily removed from the compound. Once this phosphate group is withdrawn, now the compound changes to ADP, that is your adenosine diphosphate. This adenosine diphosphate rush back to the mitochondria to bring more and more energy from that place and provide it to each and every cell. Before we proceed further for respiration, let us see what are the various activities or various vital processes taking place in our body. All the vital or important processes taking in our body is known as metabolic process. This metabolic process is of two types, that is your catabolic process and anabolic process. Catabolic process is a destructive process where your food is broken down, or one simple example is your respiration, where food is broken down to liberate energy. So in catabolic processes, whatever activities or processes taking place, the organic compound, the complex organic compound is broken down into simpler inorganic compounds. Whereas in anabolic process, which is a constructive process seen in photosynthesis, this is just one example of your anabolic process. Now in this process what happens? Simple inorganic compounds are combined together or react together to form a complex organic compound. So the outcome of photosynthesis is the formation of glucose, and the outcome of respiration is the breakdown of glucose to liberate energy. Now moving further to the types of respiration, there are two types of respiration. One is your aerobic respiration and another is your anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration requires huge amount of oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration requires no oxygen. Now coming to the evolutionary fact, in your earlier history of earth, when there was no life was just evolving in the form of primitive organisms, primitive prokaryotes like your bacteria and all. There was no oxygen available in the atmosphere, and so these primitive organisms required energy. So they carried out respiration, incomplete respiration, that is your anaerobic respiration, where no oxygen is required. Slowly and gradually, as the evolution took place, new and new organisms came into existence. It was cyanobacteria, the blue-green algae, who for the first time prepared food with the help of photosynthesis and liberated oxygen as a byproduct. This oxygen accumulated in the atmosphere, which is now utilized by various organisms for carrying out aerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration requires oxygen, anaerobic respiration do not require any oxygen. In aerobic respiration, more energy is produced, that is your 38 ATP in all, whereas in anaerobic respiration, very less energy is produced, that is your 2 ATP, which is produced during glycolysis. The organisms that carry out aerobic respirations are known as aerobic organisms. Similarly, one who carries out anaerobic respiration is known as anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration occurs in two major steps, that is your glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Glycolysis is the first reaction which takes place in the cytoplasm. During this process, your glucose is broken down into pyruvic acid or also known as pyruvate. This pyruvic acid or pyruvate is your 3-carbon compound. Glucose is your 6-carbon compound. So during glycolysis, glucose is broken down into 3-carbon compound, that is your pyruvic acid or pyruvate. If sufficient amount of oxygen is available, then pyruvic acid will change to acetyl-CoAmine, which is your 2-carbon compound, and this acetyl-CoAmine will enter mitochondria, that is your Krebs cycle. And during that Krebs cycle, acetyl-CoAmine will utilize oxygen and oxidize food completely into carbon dioxide, water and ATP. That is your 36 ATP in Krebs cycle and 2 ATP in glycolysis. Total you will have 38 ATPs released during aerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration also glucose will change to pyruvic acid or pyruvate, but in anaerobic respiration no oxygen is available, so pyruvic acid will undergo fermentation. They will undergo fermentation and will form ethyl alcohol. This is known as alcoholic fermentation. Formation of ethyl alcohol is known as alcoholic fermentation. So pyruvic acid will change to ethyl alcohol and 2 ATPs are released. Ethyl alcohol is formed in plants only. In animals, when anaerobic respiration takes place, the pyruvic acid will produce lactic acid instead of ethyl alcohol, and again along with lactic acid you will have 2 ATPs of energy. Now in aerobic and anaerobic respiration, one point is common, that is the first reaction is common in both, that is your glycolysis. Glycolysis is common to aerobic and anaerobic respiration, whereas Krebs cycle, that is the second reaction, occurs only in aerobic respiration, whereas in anaerobic respiration that pyruvate, if oxygen is not available, will change to ethyl alcohol or lactic acid. So this is all about your aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now let's study how exchange of gases occurs in plants. We all know respiration occurs throughout the day, 24 hours a day. So the process continuously requires oxygen for breaking down of food or for oxidation of food. So for that, there are different organs present in plants to carry out the exchange of gases. In plants, there are two important organs present for exchange of gases, that is your stomata and lenticels. From stomata, 90% of your exchange of gases takes place because it is exposed to air and continuously in contact with the environment. Whereas 10% of your exchange of gases occurs from lenticels. Lenticels are present in woody stems and roots, whereas stomata is present in green parts and leaves. Stomata is present in green parts and leaves because if you look at the young herbs, delicate plants and all, the stems are green. So whichever part is green will have stomata and help in exchange of gases. Same way we have lenticels which are present in woody stem. Once the plant grow into a huge tree and the stem of the plant changes into bark after secondary growth. So in those barks you will have small openings called lenticels. So what are lenticels? They are the loosely arranged cells present in the barks. These are underlining compactly arranged cells. These are your compactly arranged internal cells, whereas these are your loosely arranged cells which are present at the openings, special openings. These openings are known as lenticels. You might have seen cracks in the bark of the tree. Those cracks has the lenticels which help in exchange of gases. Then coming to leaves, this is your epidermis. So this is your stomata. This is your epidermis. The upper and lower epidermis, the upper and lower surface of the leaves has small openings called stomata. The opening is known as stomata, whereas these are your guard cells. The opening is known as stomata and surrounded by guard cells. Stomata remain open only during daytime when the sunlight is available for carrying out photosynthesis. So in that process only they exchange the gases, that is the carbon dioxide is taken in and oxygen is liberated out. During that process only oxygen. Now some of the oxygen that is produced by the plant during photosynthesis is reserved by the plant itself for carrying out respiration at night. And these lenticels which are there, they are open throughout the day, that is your 24 hours a day, and help in exchange of gases even at night. So this is how exchange of gases takes place in normal plants. But if we go to some submerged plants, that is your mangroves, plants found in mangroves areas, what happens? The root of those plants remains submerged in water throughout the year. As a result, they do not get sufficient oxygen for carrying out respiration. So plants have modified itself and the roots. So the roots of such plants come out in the air. They come out, they grow erect above the soil and is exposed to air. They have minute pores, openings in the root. These openings are known as pneumatophores. They are known as pneumatophores, also known as breathing roots. These pneumatophores are known as breathing roots because it helps them to breathe, it helps them to exchange gases, it helps them to obtain oxygen from the atmosphere. So such roots are known as breathing roots. So such plants can survive in the waterlogged area, but if other plants, if normal terrestrial plants are waterlogged, they will die because they do not have any such specialized organ. And if the root remains submerged in water for number of days, they lack oxygen, they cannot derive oxygen from water and hence the plants die. So this is how your exchange of gases in plants takes place. So this is all about your types of respiration and exchange of gases. In the next video, we will study about the comparison between respiration, photosynthesis and combustion. Till then, goodbye.